Okay, welcome everybody to today's class. I wanted to speak a little bit about what I'm planning on doing in the future on this channel because I'm hoping to do a lot more classes in the future. Today's class is an English class as usual, but I'd like to start doing some science videos. I actually really quite enjoyed working with electricity and magnets a long time ago. It was like a hobby for me, being honest. And so I'd like to show you how things like this work, and I'd like to talk a little bit about science in future. And really that is just for my own pleasure. I just always enjoyed doing these things a long time ago. But please don't worry, it's not going to become a science channel. It's going to still carry on being an English channel for those of you that really are interested in learning English. Now, I'm also going to do some philosophy videos this year, so I'm hoping to do a lot more. And so please watch this space. Now, today's phrasal verbs and idioms, they're from a book called Advanced Phrasal Verbs and Idioms by Oxford University Press. But if any of you are interested in learning more about phrasal verbs, I do have a book, Visual Phrasal Verbs. You can buy it on my website, skypelessons.com with a hyphen, in PDF form, or you can buy it in physical form. I know a lot of people prefer physical books. I totally understand. I actually prefer physical books too, because I spend a lot of my time just staring at a screen. So please go to Amazon, type in Visual Phrasal Verbs, and you'll find that book in black and white and in colour. The black and white version is much cheaper, so I do recommend the black and white version. But if you've got a bit of money to burn, yeah, if you remember this expression from a previous class, then please take the colour version. That's £35, unfortunately. I actually get less for the colour version, which is £35, than I do for the black and white version, which is £20. So I still prefer you to buy the black and white. This is because of Amazon and how much they take. Okay, so let's go through some of today's vocabulary. In the event, now this may surprise some of you, but we use this to say actually and unexpectedly. It's an adverbial expression, and it's used when something unexpected has happened. So something like, you might say something like, my home team, and that's Southend United, they're not a very good football team, played Chelsea and we all expected them to lose, but in the event it was a draw. And this was true. It happened about 15 or 20 years ago, I can't remember now, a long time ago. We played Chelsea and in the event we got a draw, so it's quite unexpected. Now, in the event of something is slightly different. Somebody's just written that up there. That's different. That's not in the event, comma, and it's acting adverbially on the rest of the sentence. So in the event is for unexpected things. It's when something unexpected happened. Yeah, like this example that I've just given you. In the event, we managed to get a draw. So it was rather unexpected. Actually, we managed to get a draw. Okay, it is. That Amazon are certainly very cheeky, Marsha. Okay, to pass off or to go off or to come off means to happen, and it means to happen in a particular way. Now, all of these phrasal verbs work very well with the word smoothly or well. So if you say that you had a meeting with your bosses and it passed off well, it passed off smoothly, it went off well, it came off well, it means it was successful in some kind of way. It happened in a good way. Now, if somebody breaks something up, like a fight, that means that they stop a fight. Hi there, Alexander, nice to see you. So if you break up a fight, you stop the fight from happening. But the police can break up a protest. I took all of these words from chapter 29, which was about protests and demonstrations, and I want to make it very clear that we never call protests meetings. I know that many students, especially from Russia, they like to say meetings because of their own language. A meeting is a protest, but it certainly isn't in English. So please don't say meeting for protest or demonstration. And the police can break up a protest or demonstration if they stop the protest from happening. Well, if they may not stop the protest from happening, but when they break up a protest, it means they get in there and they start arresting people and they stop the protest from taking place. And so people start to go home because they don't want to get arrested. So they break up the protest in that way. Now, if you stand up for somebody, that means you support them or defend them in some kind of way. So this is a very good phrasal verb. You can use it in many different situations, and it means to defend or support somebody. But please don't mix it up with stand up to somebody, because this is very similar, but it's different. You can see it looks very similar. They've both got stand up, but then they've got different prepositions at the end. Now, if you stand up for your friend, you defend them. But you stand up to your enemies. You stand up to bullies. You stand up to people that you don't like. You stand up to people that are attacking you or offending you in some kind of way. You stand up to people who are pushing you around or bossing you around. And by the way, that's another good phrasal verb, to boss somebody around or to push somebody around. I know my board gets very cluttered with lots of phrasal verbs, but I'm afraid I like to teach a lot of vocabulary at the same time, so I'm not going to just put 3 or 4 words up here. I'm going to put a lot. So yes, stand up for your friends, stand up to bullies, enemies, attackers, assailants. Now, if you stand for an idea, that means you stand in support of that idea. If you stand against an idea, that means you stand against it. You're not in favour of it. It's the opposite. So if you stand for the right of women to have an abortion, that means you defend them, that you believe that every woman should have that right to abort an unborn child. But if you stand against abortion, if you stand against the rights of women to have an abortion, then you don't like abortion. You're pro-life. You're not pro-choice. So you can see that these are opposites, and for and against are very often opposites. They are opposite prepositions. Now, if you back down on something, this means that originally you were standing for something, but then you say, okay, I was wrong, and you stop supporting it. So this really does mean to stop supporting something, to back down on something. And I want you to remember that, for example, the government can climb down on something, or a minister can climb down on something, and this means to reverse their position. Maybe the minister was in favour of, maybe the minister stood for an increase in taxes, and then he or she changed their mind and they climbed down.